Okay. All right. Thanks, Patrick. Yes, serratus anterior. I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody and talk a little bit more about
Wait a minute,
serratus
I have
anterior.
a question.
I just had a quick
Nope,
question,
sorry.
Zach.
Question.
And maybe, can I ask a quick question, Zach?
Always unmute yourself. If you have a question, don't hesitate to speak up. Don't be too shy. If you have a question or a concern or whatever, somebody else probably has the same thing. So ask it on their behalf. How about that? All right. So yes, Patrick said a little bit of probing and prodding there. Serratus anterior. It is, I would argue, the most underknown, undervalued, and sleepy of the really important shoulder muscles for most of us. Just a quick little lesson on it. It's called serratus. It's the word serrated means, like, hopefully, like a serrated knife, right? Like ridges, sort of. So it's kind of got these fans of the fibers that band up this way, wrapping up into the shoulder blade around the rib cage, and it helps to pull your shoulder blade around, which so do the chest muscles. So we reach forward, and this muscle is kind of sleepy, and we overuse the chest muscles. But more importantly, what it helps do is to swing your shoulder blade around your rib cage and up. So this bottom corner comes upward, and the top corner goes back. So most people's approach to better posture when it comes to their shoulders is to pull your shoulders back and down. I've found that for the most part, that's a inefficient and ineffective strategy in the long term. We're gonna check the chat here, see if that's anything important. Oh, I'm jumpy, it says. Is that true for most of you? Am I in and out? Like Jim says I'm jumpy. Am I?
You have low bandwidth, that's all.
Okay, but
yeah, it's the effects of low bandwidth. You kind of look like a flip book instead of a movie, but you're there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You did
Okay.
disappeared for a minute.
Yeah, you're coming and going.
Coming and going?
Like the video blanks out and then it comes back on.
Okay.
Yeah, are you out in the boonies too?
I'm where I always am. Not too far out in the boonies.
It's happened on previous times, but we get the gist.
Okay. Well, I'll just
I
went away again.
It's not that bad. I think we should move on.
Okay. Right.
You're going dark.
Yeah, I'm just gonna continue, okay? If you can follow along, follow along. If not, there'll be a recording of this, and I'll make it available as soon as I can, really soon, if things continue to be in and out. So, serratus anterior, one of the most important muscles of the shoulder complex. It helps to stabilize the shoulder up this way. So it helps us keep you broad through the chest. And what I was saying a moment ago is that most people tend to pull their shoulder blades back and down to lift their chest up. It's pretty inefficient and fatiguing strategy. It creates a lot of tension over time back here, and a lot of that just discomfort that you might deal with in your middle and upper back. So today I want to help you understand how to keep a nice tall posture that is supported somewhat by your shoulder muscles, but particularly your serratus anterior. So we're going to have a little tutorial on that, get into some of our general warm-ups, and then just integrate this serratus in at times throughout the rest of the session. So sometimes when I'm working with somebody one-on-one with this, it takes a little while for them to really connect. So if you don't quite get it today, if it doesn't make sense to your brain and body what you're trying to do, or you can't feel the sensations that I'm talking about, don't worry about it. You'll hear me talk about this and give you more attention to it in the future at times. But at least you'll have an introduction and kind of an opportunity to get started with finding your serratus anterior. So everybody just take one hand, reach across to the side of your rib cage, a couple inches below your armpit, okay? So, I mean, literally just right around the breast area, but on the side of the body here, okay? If you have a nice big open palm, and maybe so my index finger is touching the bottom corner of my shoulder blade back here on the bone itself. Your hand is pretty much placed right on top of that serratus anterior muscle. So you may feel it kind of pop or quiver or move or tense underneath your hand here in just a moment when we do this activation exercise. So what I want you to do first is to, this arm, I've got my hand on my shoulder, elbow bent. I'm going to first pull my shoulder blade back towards my spine. So that's going in the opposite direction of where the serratus will take things. And now I'm going to swing my elbow around to the front and start to reach it forward. I'm reaching my elbow forward. Just notice that pulls your shoulder blade with it. All right. And then let's just go through this motion a few more times. So we're going back here. This is relaxing and maybe giving a little bit of a gentle stretch to the serratus. So I've got this arm really pulled back, shoulder blade pulled back. Now we're going to take it in the other direction. All right. So I'm swinging this arm around. Keep this hand nice and firm against the side of the body. Notice what you feel under the hand that's on your rib cage. Reach forward. Forward, really try to like you're trying to touch your elbow to mine if you're facing the screen, okay? Reach, try not to rotate too much. You might rotate a little through your upper body, but really just try to reach and back. And squeeze that shoulder blade back behind you. Squeeze it. Now we do the opposite. We swing this elbow around, we bring it forward and we really reach and you hold this position here. Now I want you to start with this forward reach. I want you to start taking your elbow up towards the ceiling. With your awareness of this area right here, this shoulder blade is helping to lift this arm up towards the ceiling and relax it down. And let's come back and repeat that and we'll switch sides. So we've got the shoulder blade squeeze, elbow is behind you now and elbow is coming around. It's starting to reach forward. Your shoulder blade is reaching forward with it. Now your elbow is swinging up. Your shoulder blade is coming up this way. Just, it's like there's the elbow and the bottom corner are attached here. They move upward together. And to just notice how it feels right here under your hand. If you have any sense of sensation, take that hand away and just keep this angle of forward reaching and upward reaching together, kind of diagonal that way. And just awareness, mental awareness right here, and breathe into that space. And slowly relax. We'll go to the other side in just a moment. Let me make a point about this muscle and shoulder pain, and particularly up here on the top of the shoulder. If you have any limitations with reaching up over your head, reaching forward, reaching out to the side, anything that lifts the arm, whether it's to the front, to the back particularly, and you get these occasional sharp pains, or maybe it's a chronic thing that it always happens when you get to a certain point, almost certainly, I'd be shocked if you didn't have an underactive serratus anterior, because you're overusing these muscles to lift the arm. The shoulder blade staying hanging down here. The top of the shoulder complex is the shoulder blade, so it's sitting down and heavy on top of this humerus that's trying to lift up. So that's why you get a large reason why you get those shoulder impingements there. Let's practice on the other side now. So let's go with the arm back. Sorry, this hand is should be under here, not up here. This should be relatively relaxed on top of your rib cage, not shrugged up. Take it back, pinch that shoulder blade back. How did I do it a moment ago for you? I had this hand here. Swing it around, reach that elbow forward, but focus on this area between your hand and your shoulder blade. This is where we're trying to get activation of muscles to pull the shoulder blade forward. And let's come back, squeeze it behind you. And swing it around. Reach that elbow forward, but think about now start to think about reaching your shoulder blade forward, okay? The shoulder blade is the bottom part. Well, down here, it's the bottom part of the shoulder complex, but up here, it's the top also, because again, it wraps around the top, creates the socket for the humerus. Swing back and squeeze that shoulder blade back. And now come around. We're going to reach forward, and now we're going to keep reaching forward and start reaching up with the understanding that we're trying to pull the shoulder blade upward that way. So wherever your elbow is pointing, think about your bottom corner of your shoulder blades, trying to point it the same way. And down and back and around, reach, swing it up, up. See how high you can reach in a diagonal direction overhead? reaching that shoulder blade. And relax. All right, good. It's not uncommon. Somebody comes into my office and they're like, I can't lift my shoulder higher than this. We do some process similar to this, if not this exact one. And we get that active and now say, okay, now raise your arm up with that muscle working. And suddenly, 2 minutes ago, they were here and now they're up here and they're like, what in the world? Should have had you guys assess, but let's do some version of that now. Let's go with overhead reach like you normally do. Try not to overthink it right now. Swing it up and down. You can go a little slower than this if you like. Now I want you to see if this will be kind of tricky with the small introduction you've had so far. It may be tricky, but as you swing up now, think about swinging those shoulder blades up like this and down. So think about reaching forward and swinging the shoulder blades up as you do that. So those shoulder blades are coming around your rib cage and up, around and up. Here's your spine, around and up towards the front. All right, and relax and just note if you were able to feel any subtle difference in the way your arms moved up. Or you're a lot more powerful when you have the muscle that moves your shoulder blade helping you get your arms up there, as opposed to only the muscles that lift the shoulder here. All right, let's get into our warm up for the spine. If you haven't figured it out, today's upper body. So nice and tall, rib cage should be stacked over your pelvis. Pelvis stacked center of your pelvis over your ankles. Anchored in here, lifting that rib cage with your core muscles up from the front and the back, reaching the head tall, relaxing the shoulders down. And if you have some connection right now, if you kind of got that serratus anterior, try to activate it subtly right here. Try to kind of pin those muscles of the shoulder, pin the shoulder blade against the rib cage down here, arms nice and wide. So let's go, everybody, hands open, palms forward, and see if you can just intend that your shoulder blades are kind of pulled around this way gently, all right? And let's breathe. Let's hold that position. Breathe into the side of the rib cage. Feel that movement of your rib cage opening wide. Feel the rib cage softening and narrowing on the exhales. Okay, good. All right, let's go to with our spinal mobility. So from your nice aligned position, lift your rib cage upward. Try not to put too much arch in your lower back. Inhale as you go up. Exhale as you draw the sternum inward and round the middle upper back. And just keep going in both directions as fully as you can without any sense of strain or pinchiness anywhere. See if you can start to pace your breath right now. About 5-second inhales, 5-second exhales, thereabouts. All right, good. Let's go side to side with the rib cage now. So we'll try to keep the pelvis stable, gliding the rib cage to one side. Head stays tall. We're not side bending like this. We're side gliding and to the other side. So you might have your hands on your pelvis to encourage it to stay still. You might have your hands on the side of your ribs to encourage the movement of the rib cage. Either one is fine. Anywhere you put your hands that might help you generate this movement. Keeping that pelvis stable. Weight should stay about pretty balanced in your feet if you're doing this effectively. It won't change much. It'll change a lot if you do a big side bend. All right. Now, circling the rib cage around over top of the pelvis. So we can start to one side and then forward, and then to the other side and back. As you go in reverse, give a little extra engagement to your core muscles. Just draw it for now to simplify that. For this one, you can just draw that belly button in nice and tight so that you don't overextend your lower back. And reverse. See if you can keep your breath. You don't have to pace your breath with any part of the movement, but just see if you can keep that 5 in, 5 out going. Make that I'm going to challenge you all to make that one of your personal focus for today throughout the session. Obviously, I'll give you precise focuses at times, but for your personal, just general focus is 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out with your breathing. Keep checking in with it. All right, good. We're going to go with head movements now to work the cervical spine. So we'll take 3 or 4 fingers from the back of your head, trace down the back of your neck, find that most prominent bony area right there at the base of the neck. We want to get some movement from there with this gliding, okay? So we're gliding the chin forward and back. I've got my hand under my chin because I'm trying to keep it moving on a horizontal plane. So my hand's just kind of representing like a tabletop. Try not to crane my chin up or down in either gliding direction. Okay, good. So last session, for the first time, I introduced this gliding movement. It's I find for me and most people, it's more challenging than that one and many of the other things we might try to do with the neck. It's the same thing we did with the rib cage, but now it's the head. We're trying to keep everything from here down, still, and move the head to the side. Not a side bend like this, a side glide. So it might be helpful to take your hands and put them on your head and see if you can help the head get a sense of what you're trying to do. Your body's going to want to do a lot of this. See how that's just my rib cage moving? My head's just moving with it. Trying to keep my rib cage still and glide to the side. There'll be a little tilt of the head. So as you glide, the side you're gliding to, that ear, you can think about reaching it up a little bit towards the ceiling. Good. All right. And now rotations on this horizontal plane. So I'm putting my hands under here to represent a tabletop, and I'm trying to keep from my neutral chin position, trying to keep contact with my hands, an even amount of contact throughout the rotation. So with your inhales now, be inhaling as you move back towards center. As you're turning to the side, be exhaling. Sticking with that approximate 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. And one more time to each side. Good. All right. Relax. Let's do some work for activating the core. Practiced this several times recently, so you can't see my feet right now. Just pretend you can. So gently press. Try to find balance front to back. So flex your toes up, getting the pressure of the metatarsal joints into your shoes or the floor. Try to get yourself balanced front to back between the heel and those joints, and then relax your toes down. And then press your toes about 20% toe pads into the surface below you. Make a fist. Hold the pressure in the toes, 20%. You can make a real strong fist here. Take a nice expansive inhale, side to side. And exhale, efforting to draw those muscles of the pelvic floor up toward the energy of them up towards your head. As you breathe out, 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 out. And relax, shake it out for just a moment. Toes now. Again, try to have balanced weight front to back in your feet and side to side. Toes, fist, inhale, exhale. Doing a Kegel if you know what that is. Otherwise, just think of the muscles, use the muscles that you'd have to stop your urination and flatulation both. Up, 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 up. Breathing out, 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 out. And relax. One more time. Toes. Squeeze the hands. From your aligned position, check your posture. Breathing out. Generating isometric tension from your feet through the top of your head. Isometric meaning it's just you're staying in place. No movements really happening, no joint angle changes, just tension within the system wherever your starting point is. All right, breathe side to side, expansive breath. Good, all right, let's go into our shoulder blade circles. So we're trying to get those shoulder blades circling around the rib cage. So there's an up, a forward, a down, and a back. I was demonstrating a little too fast for you guys, faster than I should have. So you can have your hands here, you can relax them down. Have your hands, just have your arms relaxed for now. Reverse your circle. So I start forward, I come up, I come back and down. Forward, up, back, down. Forward, up, back, down. One more. And relax. All right. Take both hands behind you. Clasp your hands together. Put them behind your head. Okay. And now I want you to reach those elbows forward first. Reach your elbows forward, but think about really reaching your shoulder blades forward. So you're broadening that space across the back now between the shoulder blades. And now start reaching the elbows up, thinking about reaching this bottom corner of your shoulder blade up. All right, hopefully you feel some tension somewhere in here. All right, hold this angle of the shoulder blade, straighten your arms. All right, so hopefully you've got the serratus activated now. And now we're gonna do our arm circles, okay? So your elbows are straight. I've got a fist here. My hands are a little over my head, and I'm keeping that sustained activation right in here. And reverse. And slowly relax down. All right, let's take arms out to the side and just try to find what feels like a neutral shoulder blade position. So not super pinchy back, a little bit of space between your shoulder blades, and circle. Circle with your thumbs forward right now. Now turn your thumbs back, circle with the thumbs pointing back. And relax. All right, go ahead and pull the arms behind you. So now your shoulder blades are going to be really fairly well drawn towards your spine, and circle with the thumbs pointed forward. So you're circling, well, circle whichever way, just have your thumbs pointed forward. You keep it simple. Take an expansive breath through the ribs. Turn the hands, thumbs the other way, and circle the other way. Elbows are straight. And relax. Take one arm across, circle. Circle the other way. Across. Great. Take the other hand if you can and grab the shoulder blade and kind of give it an extra tug across. Give it an extra pull across, and then let this hand go and hold it there. Purpose of that was just to see if we get a little bit more activation right in here in the serratus. Circling. If you found this activation just now, if you can tell it's there and it's not usually there, just try to hold it. And relax. All right, good. Shake it out for a minute, shake out the tension. All right, let's go with arms up a bit and out a bit and do shoulder blade circles. So now it's the up, forward, down, and back. Holding the arms up, focus on that rolling of the shoulder blades. Kind of a, it's a movement like this around your rib cage with the shoulder blades. Whichever way you were going, whichever way if I gave you instructions to where to start, reverse it. And relax. All right, let's get into some more of the stretching and strengthening in those stretch positions for your chest and your lats. Let's go with lats first on this one. So first time through, we're gonna do just a passive hold for 3 inhales, exhales, that 5 seconds within each 10-second breath cycle 3 times. So that's a 30-second hold. All right, so what you're going to do is get your hands on the surface, and you can go palms down. That'll be probably the least stretchy position to begin. So just palms down. Try to get your back straight. Get your knees fairly bent so that you don't get stopped by stretching your legs, but rather stretching your shoulders. We're going for that shoulder area stretch. If you have a little stretch in your legs, that's fine, but you should feel like you're limited at your end here by your arms, not your legs. If you need to, just bend them more. And once you're in your position, you're just holding and breathing for those 3 inhales and exhales. On each exhale, you can allow yourself, if it feels appropriate, to sink your chest a little bit further towards the floor. So let your chest lead you into a deeper stretch. All right, come up out of that. Now we're going to stretch one lat at a time, sticking with the with just static for now, so meaning we're not activating, we're just getting in a position, holding and breathe. So I'm going to turn this way so you can see what I'm doing. I'm taking one arm, I'm reaching it across my surface, okay? And now I'm going to kind of settle into this position with the knees bent, finding that stretch in the shoulder. And then I'm just going to make a little tweak here. My tailbone, I'm just going to point it away, out to the side that's already away from the side where the stretch is. So I'm stretching here, I'm pointing it away. I'm getting more stretch through my lower back. Your lats come all the way down here into the lower back. And you're just going to hold and breathe once you've got that position, 3 breaths. And then you'll switch to the other side. So you reach the other arm across, wag your tail away, and breathe for 3 inhales and exhales. And on your exhales, to find more stretch, you got 2 ways you can approach it: chest towards floor, or more of a tail wag, more of a bending of or opening up with the lower back by pointing your tail away. Okay, once you've done both sides with that, just come back to the screen so I can see most of you are back, and then we'll move to the next one. Okay. Yeah, got most folks back now. Awesome. All right. So now we'll go to our static stretch for the wall on the wall. So this is going to be elbow about shoulder height, hand on the wall, on a nice open palm, and some gentle pressure of the hand into the wall to stabilize you. So from your elbow to your hand, and then you're going to start turning away till you feel a moderate stretch to the chest. And then I'll guide you what to do with this hand. If you guys ever wonder what's going on when I say, if you can't see me, I say take the other hand out, I'm doing this, okay? So once I instruct you, we'll add this in. This will be the second half. But start out with that facing the wall. The shoulder should be nice and rested on top of the rib cage throughout this. In other words, notice if you're shrugging your shoulder up. If so, go ahead and anchor it back down a bit. Now, once you've found that stretch, just with the hand on the wall and rotating away, take an inhale and exhale. A broad breath, breathing into the sides of the rib cage. Take the other hand out to the side now and start pulling it behind you as you draw both shoulder blades together. And then just hold and breathe. On your exhales, you can see about getting that free hand a little further behind you. If you've done at least 3 breaths with that other arm reaching behind you, then switch. Come out of the position by turning your face back to the wall. Slowly, hand off the wall. And now to the other side. So you start out just finding that stretch with the one hand on the wall and rotating away, and the shoulder nice and anchored on top of the rib cage. If you had some success with that serratus anterior activation, and you kind of makes sense to you, see if you can do it right now. So this shoulder that's getting stretched, see if you can activate that serratus anterior, kind of pulling that shoulder blade forward by the activation. That'll help stabilize your shoulder even more. Take the other arm out to the side, bringing it behind you until you feel a nice stretch. And you're going to breathe 5 in, 5 out on your exhales, seeing if you can get it a little further behind you. When you come out of it, just turn all the way back to the wall and face the wall, and then bring the hand off the wall. All right. So now we're going to, so you guys are familiar with our internal external rotation, right? That's a lot of activation for the rotator cuff. We're just going to try to integrate in the serratus anterior activation with it, right? So it's the same exercise, it's just you've got this other area to try to focus on. If it's too much for your brain or your body, then just try to do the basic movements of the rotation with a relatively still shoulder, not going into a shoulder shrug. So what we're going to do here is take both arms out to the side, swing them around to the front. Go ahead and swing them farther, 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 and a little bit of reaching upward just to see if you can find this sense of activation right here, a little bit of it, okay? If you're not finding it, again, don't worry about it. Sometimes I spend a whole hour one-on-one with somebody just to accomplish it. But if you are, then now we're going to bring the arms back to this position, slightly in front of me, with some of this activation staying in place. And you're going to try to hold that throughout your rotation. So now we're going to go palms, thumbs up, from up to back. And we'll lift the chest a little bit to get even more rotation through the arms. So this is my whole arm, not just my forearm. My bicep is turning back along with my thumb. And now I'm going to round my back. I'm going to try to keep turning my hands, my arms back as I drop my chest in and let my upper back start to round a bit. And breathe well, guys. Keep breathing well. 5 in, 5 out if you can. On those exhales, see if you can get a little bit more rounding with your back without losing that external rotation. And come back to neutral with the chest, arms slowly down. If you guys are doing any of these and you're starting to feel a very prominent tingling sensation, back off. Maybe go ahead and just relax the arms. If the tingling is mild towards the end of a position, it might just be circulation being a little bit, we've got a lot of stretch and we're compressing the circulation a little bit. But if it's more noticeable than very subtle and it comes on early in the movement, it might be that you're stretching a nerve and that can, we don't want to overstretch the nerve. So if you feel a lot of tingling, just come on out of it and relax. When you do it again, don't go as far. All right, so from the side, slightly forward. See if you, from this time, see if you can generate some of that serratus activation. Now we're going to go into internal rotation. So I'm pointing my thumbs down, my biceps are rolling down. We go as far as we can without dragging that shoulder blade forward like this. And now we start to lift the chest. Lifting the chest, trying not to put a lot of arch into the lower back. My lower back overarching would look like this. My whole upper body would really be tilting back. It's from the middle spine and up that we're trying to lift the chest as we keep trying to turn the arms down towards the floor. And relax and shake it out. Let's do both of those one more time. So from the side to the front a little, see if you can create a little bit of that serratus activation if that's working for you. And we'll lift the chest a little more. We're going to go into external rotation. We're going to lift the chest to help us get maximal external rotation. But then the real challenge is now going the other way with the chest, drawing it in, rounding the upper back, and keep working on that external rotation. Five seconds in, 5 seconds out with your breath. And slowly come back to neutral with your chest. Relax your arms down. One more time with the internal rotation with the chest lifted. So I'll start with my neutral position, thumbs up, arms forward a bit. See if you can activate the serratus. Now turn the thumbs down, biceps down, whole arm down without dragging your shoulder blade or rounding your upper back. And now you're going to lift your chest without overarching your lower back. Lift the chest up. Think about getting your sternum, the base of your sternum is reaching upward. And you're always trying to get more internal rotation through the shoulders. And you're breathing 5 in, 5 out. And slowly down through the arms, back to neutral with the chest. All right, good job, good job. All right, let's go back to our stretches for the lats. We're gonna do the one arm at a time, and we're gonna do the cross body. So you're gonna see me reach across, turn my tail away a little bit, and we're gonna do the activation. So let's go with a neutral arm position, which will be either the most neutral will probably be just palm down, okay? If you want to make it a little bit more work and a little bit more stretch, you take your thumb pointed up. But to make it more basic, just your palm down. So you're going to reach across. And back away, bending those knees, getting that back straight, finding that stretch through the shoulder. And then just a little tweak, pointing your tailbone away to add a little bit more stretch through that side. And now you're going to gently press your hand into the surface, breathing in for 5. Exhaling. Just on your exhale, see if you can wag your tail a little more. Let's focus on that part. So inhale, you press down 20 to no more than 50% effort. If you have very healthy shoulders, up to 50%. If you have compromised shoulders, 5%, 10% pressing, or no pressing. Listen to your body. You don't have to press. It's more advanced. And after at least 3 inhale, pressing and relaxing on the exhale, switch sides. Palm down, or for more stretch, thumb up. And sink into the stretch by bending the knees and straightening the back. Wag your tail away a little bit. And pressing down, breathing in. See if you can breathe into the side where your stretch is. Really opening that side with your breath. On the inhale, exhale, you relax the pressure through the arm. You wag your tail a little more. You can also take your butt further away from your arm. That'll add more stretch. So if you kind of reach your butt away from the hand and wag it to the side, both of those are going to add stretch. Again, 3 times. Inhaling, press. Exhaling, relax. Breathing into that side of the body where the stretch is. Good. And after 3 with that, come off the wall, come off your surface. Let's go to the wall and do our active stretch for the chest. So I'm going to put my hand out here parallel. You can go lower. You can go a little higher. I'll let you say experiment to the degree that you feel comfortable experimenting. I'm just going to demonstrate with it out to the side. So now with the elbow straight, I start turning away. My arm stays nice and gently anchored on top of the rib cage. As I turn away, I'll take the free arm and start to bring it behind me a bit, just a little bit. And now I'm going to gently press the hand on the wall into the wall, breathing in. Exhale, breathing. Exhale, just relaxing. To add more stretch, you either pull the free hand further behind you or turn away from the wall a little more, or both. 3 times with the press and release. See if you can have a little bit of serratus anterior activation here. And after 3, you switch to the other side. Again, you can go with hand a little higher than shoulder, a little lower if you'd like to. You turn away, finding that stretch, elbows straight. You're probably feeling a lot of stretch through your bicep between your shoulder and elbow. Take the free hand, bring it back behind you a little bit. Now gently press the hand on the wall into the wall. As you inhale, as you exhale, you either hold the position or you turn away a little more, or you bring the free hand behind you a little more, or you do both of those last 2. See if you can have that serratus activation. The serratus activation here will keep your shoulder blade from tipping forward. It'll keep you from having that a winged scapula, having a chicken wing back there in this position. And after 3, turn back towards the wall, come off the wall, and relax and shake it out. All right, so we're gonna go back to the chair now, and we're gonna work on stretching the lats and activating your serratus at the same time. So what we're gonna do is we'll start in the, we'll start with palms down. All right, so palms down, both hands on the surface. The wider they are, the less stretch you're going to get through the lat. So if you're feeling a lot of stretch and maybe it's too much, take your hands wider. The closer your hands are, the more stretch you're going to have through your lats. So start with hands maybe shoulder width, maybe bring them more narrow if you need to. Get more stretch, wider to get less stretch. Find that positional stretch. All right, you're going to find this positional stretch. Now, when I say press down, you're not just pressing your hands down, you're trying to pull your shoulder blades towards the floor. All right, so keep your awareness in your shoulder blades. All right, so find your stretch position. Breathe in, pull your shoulder blades towards the floor. And relax it as you exhale. Let your chest sink a little closer to the floor. Breathe in. Think about pulling your shoulder blades towards the floor, especially the bottom corner of your shoulder blade, like you're trying to touch the floor with it. And relax. Sinking the chest forward. Come out of that position. Stand up for a moment. So we have palms down. Now we're going to go thumbs up, or you can think of it, you know, outside of the hand, pinky side down. This is going to add more stretch to your lats. So again, either shoulder width, more narrow for more stretch. So if I was the most narrow I could be with this, my hands would be touching like this. Thumbs up. Or you can be as wide as you need to. All right. Go into your positional stretch. Thumbs are up. Once you get them up, if you can, make a little extra effort to go thumbs away from each other, getting more external rotation. So try to get, you know, the shoulders more externally rotated, the humerus. And now breathe in, pulling your shoulder blades towards the floor. Exhale, just to relax and let your chest sink further down. Inhale, pulling shoulder blades towards the floor, turning the thumbs away from each other further if you can. And 2 reps with that. Come on up and out. Guys, let's finish up with an assessment with your overhead reach, okay? So see if you can do this both ways. Your normal way, the way you would just have done it every time before today without my instructions about the serratus. Notice how that feels. Now, see if you can get some more support for that movement by activating the serratus. So go with one arm at a time. Grab the shoulder blade. Help it out here. Just to cue your brain what we're trying to do. Pull that shoulder blade up. All right, now do that a few times with or without the cue from this arm. Your arm's going up, but think about it, really it's all coming from underneath your shoulder. It's coming from underneath. Instead of lifting from the top of your shoulder, you're lifting from underneath, pulling it up, pushing it upward. There's something under your arm, pushing it up. It's your serratus anterior. Switch, first time, grab, pull it around, up. And the next couple times with or without that support, your arm is being pushed up from underneath. Lift it up. And relax. All right, guys, good work today. I spoke fast. We moved pretty quickly. We didn't take a water break. Sorry, Marnie. Love to get your feedback. Who thinks they found their serratus anterior a little bit today?
I did.
Jim's got a hand up. Paula's got a hand up. Patrick's got a hand up. Jed, Gail, Alejandro, Doug, Frankie. Whoa, Janet, all y'all. Feel like you found it. So a few of you speak up. Tell me what makes you think you found it. I want to get your experience. I'd love to know. Please tell me.
'Cause it hurt.
What hurt?
Oh, it's very sensitive there, and it has been for a while. That's
Here.
yeah, that's one of my problem areas.
Okay. All right. So you had some discomfort there.
Oh yeah.
I felt
It was easier. Oh, go ahead, Bart.
I had a sense of space that I haven't felt before up there. Like there's nice space, and the concept of pushing versus pulling is such a basic principle about so many things. I never thought of it in terms of reaching.
Awesome.
What's up?
Reggie, hold on. I think Reggie started to speak a moment ago. What do you want to say?
I was going. Now I can echo the idea of being able to push your arm up, and it has a lot more strength. Before this, I was, whimpering all the time. I did it, but I was whimpering. But now I don't have to whimper. So thank you, and also thank you for the modifications if you're not up to doing what you do for a living all day long. Thank you.
Thanks, Reggie.
Zach, I'd like to ask about when you feel the serratus, I feel like I know it's there, but in many of the exercises, what I really felt was in different places, so around my shoulder or around the top of my arm. And I felt like I was using muscles I hadn't used, or I was moving muscles that hadn't been moved.
That sounds great. Is there a question in there, or that's just?
Well, I'm wondering am I doing something wrong that something else hurts? I mean, I felt activation in a small range.
Yeah.
But I felt more in other muscles.
Okay.
More response.
Was it pain or was it?
Yeah, it was stiff.
Stiff. Okay, but not pain, but some
A
stiffness.
little uncomfortable, but not pain.
Okay. Well, so if you're not having pain and you're feeling different stuff and it's not pain, consider it's probably a good thing.
Okay.
Really, because your body's learning how to do different stuff here. So we get this serratus working. It's changing the whole alignment of your shoulder complex as it moves in these ranges. Okay?
A lot of
So you're probably gonna, yes, if you're attuned, you're probably gonna have some different sensations because the alignment of the scapula and the humerus are different now. So the muscles that are supporting them are working under different conditions. So if there's no pain, consider it as job well done and a good thing.
good.
Yeah. Jim, yes.
For me, the evidence was the serratus anterior was clinically palpable, especially when activated. It was really clear to feel the definition of the muscle when we were put upon to focus on it. I think that was really good.
Good. I'm glad you could feel it. Yeah. If you're feeling something stiffening or popping up on your hand, then that's direct feedback that it's activated. Otherwise, you just kind of have to rely on your kinesthetic sense of awareness in this area, as well as the sense of how the shoulder feels when it's going through these ranges of motion.
I actually could feel the almost like a crest, perhaps, and the anterior and posterior limits to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's good.
Great. Any other comments? Doug, yes, sir.
Just wanted to, as a compliment, Zach, I had a total shoulder replacement a few years ago.
Uh-huh.
I went through a lot of physical therapy and have haphazardly continued that therapy. But I was told I would only have so much range of motion. And since I've started work with you, which has been a little haphazardly as well, but only to say that is that this range of motion has improved beyond anything that I ever had before with the physical therapy and everything else. So spot on is what I'm saying. It's amazing. It's like there is a possibility of getting sort of a new body in this deal, you know.
Yeah, I hope.
I really like that. Thanks.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing, Doug. That warms my heart. I'm really happy for you, and you know, it's just great to know. I'm diligent about looking for the missing pieces. You know, I know what people get for physical therapy, all the standard PT. I know all the standard exercises, and people still keep showing up in pain and with limitations and frustrations. So my, you know, kind of a driving question for me in all things that I'm with the body, as well as with the mind and the emotional health. What's missing here? What's mainstream, and what are we? And sometimes it's these 2 millimeter distinctions. Sometimes it's a 2 millimeter metaphorically and literally, right? With the body, with the joint, you know, maybe a 2 millimeter shift in how you position something. And now all of a sudden it creates an alignment that frees a lot of things up. But it's sometimes these little distinctions. It's not complicated stuff once you really understand it, but yeah, there's just these little missing pieces. So I'm really glad, Doug, that you're getting the benefit that you have. You're still one of the newer ones here. A lot of these folks have been with me for about 7 weeks online, if not before that in studio. All right, guys, I'm going to hang around for Joy. She had a question about the program. If anybody else has a question about that 21-day program or feedback about the brain health presentation yesterday, let me know. So otherwise, if you're ready to go, thanks. Questions or comments about that presentation or the New You program, stick around.
Can I give Jim an oh poor baby? I saw he's in a sling yesterday. Oh poor baby.